An inland tsunami, killer floods devastate Queensland. Warnings, deadly river peaks and mass evacuations are yet to come. Now Brisbane residents also told to prepare for the worst.
We are facing one of our toughest ever tests. We will only pass this test if we are calm. Now is not a time for panic. It is a time for us to stick together.
Good evening. That's the plea from the Queensland Premier, standing firm in the wake of Queensland's killer floods. Welcome to this special hour-long bulletin and our coverage of the unfolding disaster. From the towns of Grantham, Toowoomba and Ipswich, plus the latest threat to Brisbane. Right now, this is what we know. 9 people are confirmed dead, with the toll expected to rise. 66 people are still reported missing. The city of Brisbane is now under threat, where more than 7,000 homes are expected to be inundated. The damage bill expected to be $10 billion. We'll begin with Grantham, where the damage has been described as like the aftermath of a cyclone. A wall of water smashed through the town, wiping out everything in its path. Chris Reason is following the flood downstream. Chris, what's the latest on communities in its path?
Well, it's been called an inland tsunami, a wall of water sweeping its way down from Toowoomba through Gatton, here in Ipswich, and now bearing down on Brisbane itself, where already they've begun evacuations from the western riverside suburbs. But those people have warnings, unlike the thousands of people who were caught in yesterday's flash flooding. This is the Lockyer Valley town of Grantham today, 100 kilometres west of Brisbane, 400 people, 120 homes, many of them now in ruins. A scene of utter devastation. At least 4 people died here, including a mother and 2 children. There are fears it will be 6 as rooftop rescues continue. Dozens of people spent the night stranded, today hoisted to safety one by one. There are so many, men, women, children, even pet dogs. This family waves in desperation. Help came, but it took some time. Continuing bad weather is threatening helicopter rescues. It's dangerous for boats too, and road transport is out of the question.
What this current bad weather is doing is hampering our search and rescue efforts, particularly into that Lockyer Valley area where we know we have people stranded in dire and critical circumstances.
This car lies abandoned, one door flung open. It's hoped the occupants escaped, but no one can be certain with so many people listed as missing. The local river is called Sandy Creek. It's an inland sea, but it was much higher. This was one house yesterday afternoon. This is the same place today. You can see the tide mark on the roof. That's a piece of furniture washed up near the peak, the rest out in the mud. This is the Grantham Hotel on what was the main street, now marooned among its neighbours. Several occupants perch on picnic tables as they await rescue or for the water to go down. This house was torn from its foundations and flung aside, not so much flooded as sunken, beyond salvage. Just metres away, a boat left high and dry across the railway line. It came so suddenly. People online are calling it mad water. Emergency chiefs went much further.
Could perhaps best be described as an inland instant tsunami.
The rain began early yesterday, became heavy mid-morning, then all hell broke loose. A wall of water crashed down the Great Dividing Range at Toowoomba, sweeping into towns below. Places like Murphy's Creek, Helidon, Gatton, Glenore Grove and Grantham.
We have a grim and desperate situation in the Toowoomba and Lockyer Valley region.
These 3 were last seen clinging to their car roof.
We watched as the family clambered on top of the roof of their car. That's when we went and landed and made sure Queensland Fire and Rescue Officer got in our chopper and went for a look. They did grid searches trying to find them. The car was swept down the river.
Rescue crews are searching.
But given the circumstances, we hold very grave concerns for many of those people who are unaccounted for in this region.
The Warrego Highway linking Toowoomba and Brisbane is cut, along with most alternate routes. Roads and bridges have been destroyed. This bridge appeared to be okay, but a closer look showed it had been well underwater. But that water is surging downstream with Brisbane directly in its path, and the rain isn't letting up. And authorities say a staggering 6,500 homes and businesses in the capital now face flooding by Thursday. Chris Reason, 7 News.